So before the end of session, a group of state senators from the Hudson Valley and Long Island are trying to get the MTA payroll tax repealed for 7 of the 12 counties that are currently paying it. The tax was part of the 2009 bailout package for the MTA, but opponents say that New York City suburbs are already overtaxed. They would like to get rid of this. Joining me now to explain more about this effort is Senator Lee Zeldin. He is leading the charge. Senator, it's good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Liz.
So let me just put it out there. This is how I understand it. Everybody, with the exception of New York City, would no longer have to pay this tax. Is that correct?
So that's one of the 3 components, is for the 7 counties outside of New York City, there's going to be a phase out of the MTA payroll tax.
Okay.
Between January 1st in 2012 to the end of 2013.
Okay.
The second component is for the 5 counties inside of New York City. For them, there will be a phase down between January 2012 and 2014. And then the third and final component is with regards to all schools, public and non-public, as well as small businesses. In the entire 12-county MTA region, there'll be a total phase out on January 1st, 2012.
Okay, so this is a pretty significant thing because I was actually around in 2009 and I remember that this was a big deal because a lot of these suburban counties were very unhappy. They said, why are we bailing out the MTA if the percentage of folks who are using the subway system is actually pretty low? Now, they do use the Long Island Railroad, for example, which is, of course, in your neck of the woods, and they also use Metro North, but the percentage is not the same as the people who are living inside those 5 boroughs, of course, and people saw this as a commuter tax,
right,
essentially.
Yeah, 93.5% of the rides are actually within the New York City transit system.
Right.
It's so disproportionate between the amount of benefit for New York City as opposed to those suburbs. As you get further away, you get to the 3rd Senate District on the east end of Long Island. You have so many non-users, employers and employees that are responsible for coming up with this payroll tax, yet none of their employees use the railroad to get to work.
Well, no, here's the problem. I mean, the MTA is sort of notoriously cash-strapped, right? And the only way that they can improve their situation, can raise their own revenue, is to increase fares. Now, opponents, New York City folks, have said to me, this is going to leave a hole, and I know that there's some quibbling about how big that hole is, but you even yourself agree, when this is all phased in by 2014, there's going to be a hole of about $370 million annually. Is that correct?
Right, that is correct. It's our estimations at $376 million. But you know what? That's only about 2% of their annual budget. And I'm willing to debate any of those New York City folks that you just told us about and tell you that I have no doubt in my mind that the MTA has 2% worth of fat that they could cut, especially when you give them a heads up of, here, it's June of 2011, and that $376 million doesn't even take effect until January of 2014.
You also have some ideas about, actually the whole cut is about $800 million and change. And you have some revenue generating ideas in this bill, actually. One of the things is the creation of a lockbox, which is something that people have been talking about for a long time. The MTA, and I don't think everyone knows this, just like parts of the budget gets swept away for other unrelated transit use, right? So this would be locking funds down specifically for the reason that they are out there, and that's to use them for mass transit.
That's right. And you know, that's going to help the MTA with their bond rating. They need more reliable sources of revenue. So there are a few different sources that are in the bill. This doesn't add any new taxes or fees. It's with money that currently exists, which helps to soften the impact to the MTA. But the fact is that they have the ability to cut waste. After this legislation is implemented, without any increases of fares, without any cuts of services, they can balance their books. The MTA can do more with less. Government's doing more with less. Families are doing more with less. Businesses. It's time for the MTA to do the same.
Okay, well, a cynical person, and I'll play the role of the cynical person in this particular scenario, would say to you, okay, Senator Zeldin, you're out on Long Island. The suburbs are very important in 2012 when the Senate Republicans are going to seek to battle to retain the control of majority. So are those suburbs that are north of the city, Westchester, Rockland, Dutchess, Putnam, etc. And the city kind of gets a little bit of a raw deal on this one. So the city is Democrat-dominated, and perhaps the Republicans are abandoning the city on this. It seems political. Is it political?
No, actually, I worked very closely with Senators Marty Golden and Senator Andy Lanza in the process. They're both co-sponsors of our legislation.
Okay.
Two different components of the bill directly have a benefit to the MTA. And additionally, listen, I am, in my opinion, we're one Andrew Cuomo away from getting this done before the end of session. And that's no disrespect to him. I mean, he is a powerful, popular guy right now. And I know that he's interested in repealing the MTA payroll tax. I just wish that I could talk him into getting, neck deep with us on this issue to get this just done now. I don't even want to wait another year. But with that being said, if for whatever reason we have to come back here in 2012 and revisit this, everything will be back on the table as far as our discussions with the city folks. The fact is, for the residents of the 3rd Senate District that I represent, and for others that are on Long Island and upstate for those 7 counties, this needs to get repealed.
Okay.
And whatever we need to do to get that done, I'm on board.
You have a majority sponsor in the Assembly. It's George Latimer. He's from Westchester County. You actually did have a brief discussion, I understand, with the governor and the lieutenant governor on this. The governor has said he's open to the repeal, but he wants to see the money replaced. This doesn't fully replace the money 100%. Did he express concern to you about that?
Well, I didn't sense any type of pessimism from him as far as getting this done. I mean, there might be a difference of opinion, respectfully, with regards to the timeline. I consider him to be a partner in the process. I may have a little bit of a disagreement if he takes the position going forward that the MTA doesn't have the ability to come up with $376 million in 2014.
Well,
I have come up with
You have. I just want to interrupt you for 1 second. Forgive me. Would it be okay with you if the MTA raises fares to come up with that money?
They don't need to. They do not need to increase fares. They do not need to cut services. The fact is the MTA PR machine is going to be in full-fledged attack right here because the MTA seems to think that this money is theirs. This money belongs to the taxpayers. And on their behalf, we need to reach back into the MTA's pockets to give the taxpayers back their money. So despite the threats of the MTA to increase fares and cut services, I'm here fighting for those that are having their money taken, that were used to bail out a New York City-based entity that, quite frankly, does not need all that money. Okay,
we're almost out of time. Before I let you go, I mean, obviously, we're coming down to the wire here. We like to jokingly, maybe not so jokingly, refer to things as the big ugly. It's possible that the MTA repealer here will end up in there, the payroll tax repealer, as part of some 11th hour deal. But the main focus, obviously, for today was gay marriage. You were in that 4-hour conference with your colleagues. It's been characterized to me as contemplative and thoughtful, but no fireworks. Do you agree with that?
It was actually, it was amazing. Some people are opposed. Some people are in favor, others are undecided, and the fact is that everyone who spoke up, the personal stories, the passion, the fact is everyone in the Republican conference really has spent a lot of time thinking about the issue. It was extremely thoughtful, and I'm just really happy that we spent that time to discuss it.
Well, you'll have another chance tomorrow. My understanding is that you are still a no. Do you believe that the bill should come to the floor?
Well, listen, Mike Long, who's the chairman of the New York State Conservative Party, he is someone that I have a great relationship with, and I certainly look up to. He encouraged in the past an up or down vote on the floor, and if that's the way that we go, listen, people on both sides are asking for an up or down vote. So if this bill comes to the floor for a vote, I happen to be opposed to it, and we'll see what happens.
Senator Zeldin, I want to thank you very much for joining us. It's good to see you. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you, Liz.